There's a powerful force inside you that's always awake. Once you realize it, everything around you starts to change. This audiobook is your invitation to tap into that energy, the kind that shapes worlds. When you awaken that hidden current, the universe responds. In the quiet corners of forgotten places and the resonating halls of sacred sites, an ancient energy whispers. It has always guided those brave enough to listen. This isn't some abstract truth locked away in dusty books. No, it's a vibrant force within you, pulsing beneath your skin, flowing with every breath you take. You are a vessel for this boundless energy. It moves faster than light and is more immediate than thought. It can reshape reality with the certainty of the stars. This power doesn't demand years of rituals or intense devotion. It simply awaits your awakening, quiet and patient. The universe isn't swayed by your actions. It responds to who you truly are. Your energy, the invisible yet undeniable aura that radiates from within, shapes existence and ripples through dimensions beyond time and space. When you align with this truth, creation comes from you as effortlessly as breathing. This sacred understanding isn't locked away, it's hidden by the fog of forgetfulness. Now as you engage with these words, you stand ready to remember. Each phrase, each whisper is a key to unlocking the chambers of your soul that have been lost. But be aware, the force you awaken moves like lightning. Once ignited, it flows with such speed that your mind might struggle to keep up. This isn't magic or fantasy. It's the unbreakable law of the universe, steady as gravity, inevitable as the sunrise. These pages are more than ink and paper. They are alive with ancient energies that resonate with who you are. As you read, they'll read you, awakening what has always been within yet buried under life's noise. Approach this wisdom like you would a sacred flame. It can inspire or consume you. Once you grasp these ideas, once you live the truth they bring, your world will shift and unfold with such grace that even your breath will stop in awe. In a small village where sunlight danced through the window slats lived Ella Lanner, a seamstress. Her quick fingers turned simple fabric into beautiful creations. Day in and day out, she quietly mended clothes and crafted new ones, while life seemed to keep moving past her. One bright morning, with the golden light pouring through her workshop, she stopped her sewing and murmured to herself, "I am more than this." There were no fireworks, no grand gestures, just a moment of realization that shifted everything. You need to know that the power running through life has always been part of you. Just like Ella Lanner, you have a force inside that's so natural you might not even notice it's there. This force isn't something you earn or learn. It just waits for you to see it. Imagine a stream flowing beneath your feet. You've walked over it many times, perhaps never hearing its gentle sound or feeling its movement. But once you pay attention, you realize it has shaped the ground you're on. That's how the unstoppable force inside you works. It's always flowing, never losing its energy. Your awareness decides if you dive in or stay on the sidelines. As days went by, Ella Lanner felt small changes. Customers who once haggled now willingly paid her what she deserved. New chances came to her just like the dawn. Her methods didn't change, but her spirit did. She started attracting admirers from nearby towns. She hadn't altered her outside world. She simply recognized the power that had always been within. Ella Lanner's journey reflects a bigger truth. Your energy sets the stage for everything that follows. Before you speak or make a move, your inner current sends out signals into the universe. What you see around you is just a reflection of that invisible energy. When you grasp this idea, it becomes clear why some people seem lucky while others face constant struggles. The difference isn't in what they do, but in how aligned they are with that ever-present force. Now place your hand on your heart. Feel its steady beat, like a drum that has been sounding since before your first breath. Whisper these words, letting them come from that sacred space. I've always had this force. I just choose to. Let these words resonate with you. They can awaken something within you that's always been there. One quiet Tuesday morning, Walter stood by his kitchen window, savoring his coffee. After 3 decades of delivering mail come rain, snow, or shine, retirement had given him the chance to enjoy the little things in life. That day, filled with an unusual burst of joy, he talked to his empty kitchen. "I'm so grateful for all the amazing travels ahead of me." The truth was, He didn't even have a passport or any savings to travel, but his words radiated certainty. Here's the thing. The universe works in ways we can't fully grasp. It doesn't just listen to what you say, it tunes into the energy you send out. When you align how you feel inside with what you truly want, things start happening. Manifestation comes swiftly, almost like a thought. Every moment you're sending out signals through your feelings and beliefs. These signals are received right away. Sure, it might take a bit for the physical results to show up, but it's not about how many times you ask. It's all about the quality of your vibrations. Later that day, Walter got a surprising phone call. His niece, who worked at an airline, had extra companion passes she couldn't use. "Uncle Walter," she said, "would you like to travel anywhere in the world?" This call came mere hours after his thankful declaration that morning. It wasn't just luck. When Walter expressed gratitude, he wasn't wishing or hoping. He was declaring with pure alignment. He felt like he already had what he desired. This perfect match of energy got an instant reaction from the universe. When you speak from a place of "it is done," the universe unfolds possibilities for you. No need to convince or repeatedly ask. All it takes is your aligned energy. So take a moment today. Speak gratitude for 3 things you desire, but do it as if they've already come true. I'm so grateful for this lovely home that fills me with peace. Thanks for the vibrant health that energizes my body. And thank you for the abundance that flows into my life with ease. Let your heart be filled with the same sincere gratitude you'd feel if you received these gifts. Imagine the emotion of having what you desire as if you already own it. Because in the universe's eyes, you do. In a little farmhouse, while dark clouds of war loomed in the distance, Clara sat at her wooden table each morning. While everyone else rushed to read alarming news, she closed her eyes and pictured her son, Thomas, safe and sound. "My son walks in divine protection," she softly whispered, letting that truth resonate deeply within her. Even as conscription notices landed in her neighbors' homes, Clara held on to her unshakable belief. Your thoughts hold a powerful force that goes beyond the physical world. When you align your mind with true knowing, you spark events that defy understanding. This isn't just about thinking positively, it's the law of spirit in action. A clearly held thought, wrapped in unwavering faith, sends a command to the universe. The real strength lies not in the words, but in the feeling of absolute certainty that comes with them. When you know something at the core of your being, that knowing starts to reshape reality. Your consciousness acts like a tool, carving new paths in the endless possibilities that exist. That's why Clara's quiet belief was more potent than all the scary headlines put together. She'd tapped into a fundamental truth. Consciousness shapes matter. That inner certainty changes what's happening outside. As summer turned to autumn, something surprising happened. Thomas's unit got new orders. While other young men headed into conflict, he was assigned to a medical corps, far away from the front lines. Clara's neighbors may have called it luck, but she understood it as a law, the perfect result of her strong spiritual knowing. When you plant a seed in rich soil, you don't dig it up every day to see how it's doing. You trust in the invisible process of growth. In the same way, when you nurture a thought in the soil of absolute knowing, you don't need to worry about how it'll come to be. The universe takes care of that. Now, take a moment of silence. Pick one part of your life where you want to see a change. Write down one sentence that captures the reality you want, treating it like it's happening right now, not a distant dream. Maybe it's something like, "Divine order guides my every step," or "Wealth flows to me easily." Take a moment to really sit with that thought. Let it sink deep into your mind until you can feel it in every part of you. This isn't just daydreaming, it's activating important universal principles. In a dimly lit seaside tavern, Roy sat at his old piano, fingers above the keys. He had played perfectly for years, but something always felt off. Night after night, he looked out at the sparse crowd, hoping to be seen. But tonight felt different. As he settled in, he closed his eyes and let a deep shift happen inside. "I am music itself," he whispered, not wishing, but recognizing a truth. You need to grasp the difference between asking and commanding. When you ask, you put yourself apart from your desire. But when you command from a place of spiritual authority, you speak as if you're already whole. This isn't about arrogance, it's about aligning with universal truth. The power that creates worlds flows through you all the time. It doesn't need your permission, it just waits for you to see what already exists. When you accept your true spiritual identity, the universe can't help but respond. It's not about forcing things to happen, it's about aligning with what is. During the second week of Roy's transformation, the vibe in the tavern shifted. Even though he played the same songs, the room started to fill up. People who used to chat over his music went quiet, drawn in by something they couldn't quite define. A local reporter happened to drop in, captivated by Roy's performance. He played as he always had, but now every note rang with certainty. What changed wasn't his skill, it was his energy. He stopped playing for approval and instead embraced the essence of music itself. The universe wasn't responding to how he played, it was responding to who he was. This holds true for every part of your life. The universe doesn't respond to mere words or actions, it reacts to the vibe of your deep spiritual understanding. So practice standing tall, feeling the full weight of your presence. Speak your truth with confidence. Instead of asking, declare it from your heart. Say it 3 times, letting each word come from a deeper understanding. Let your voice reflect absolute certainty. In a small town, where autumn leaves swirled past the school windows, Mabel lit another candle in her cozy apartment. For 7 years, she followed the same routine. Each night, she knelt by her bed, hands clasped, whispering prayers for change. Her wish never wavered, a position at the prestigious academy nearby, a chance to impact more lives. Yet every morning brought the same old routine and the same dreams unfulfilled. Here's a crucial lesson about creation. The universe reacts to resonance, not just repetition. When your desires and beliefs are out of sync, they create conflict, blocking what you want from coming to you. Many people find themselves stuck in a loop of asking but never receiving. It's not the asking that holds power, it's the knowing. If you want something but also doubt it, you're stuck in a spiritual standstill. The universe needs clarity and unity between what you desire and what you believe. One evening, as Mabel reached for her prayer beads, something inside her changed. She stood tall instead of kneeling. She didn't ask anymore, she simply knew. "I am done waiting," she proclaimed to the empty room. "I am a top-tier teacher, and I serve where I can make the biggest impact." Her words weren't desperate, they were facts. Just 3 days later, the principal of the academy called. Their advanced literature teacher had accepted a position abroad, and they needed someone right away, someone with Mabel's exact qualifications. The job she had prayed for 7 years was offered to her within 72 hours of her shift in mindset. The difference wasn't the universe suddenly being willing to help. It was Mabel's transformation from divided energy to unified knowing. When she stopped splitting her power between hope and doubt, everything changed. Manifestation speeds up when you go from asking to deciding. The universe doesn't need persuasion, it just needs you to align with what's already out there. Take a moment now. Think about an area in your life where you've been waiting. Get specific. Next to that area, write down, "I choose to end the waiting." Close your eyes for a second and feel that shift from just hoping to actually knowing. Let this new vibe fill every part of who you are. The waiting doesn't end when the universe decides. It ends when you decide. In a busy financial district of a shiny city, Eugene sat in his corner office, amazed at how fast his life changed. Just months after discovering a powerful force, his investments shot up, opportunities popped up everywhere, and doors swung open before he even reached for them. But with every success, he felt a strange unease growing inside him. You need to understand, this force isn't just a tool. It's a living energy that flows through everything. It reacts to your every emotion, not just what you consciously tell it. This becomes really important as your power increases. The force amplifies whatever vibe you're giving off. When you tap into this ancient energy, you make a deal with universal law. The faster your dreams become reality, the more you need to manage your emotions. Just like joy attracts more joy, unchecked fear pulls in its own chaos, and scattered thoughts lead to a mess of situations. Eugene learned this the hard way. As his success skyrocketed, so did his anxiety. He started worrying about keeping his achievements, which led to sudden setbacks. Fear of losing clients made them back away. His scattered focus on different opportunities caused confusion in his deals. The very power that lifted him up now highlighted his inner chaos. One morning, after a particularly wild week, Eugene ran into an old mentor who noticed his struggle. "Power without peace," the mentor said, "is like lightning without a rod. It's brilliant but dangerous." Those words sparked something in Eugene. He began to treat his thoughts with care, realizing each one was like a seed in rich universal soil. Before making choices or setting intentions, he learned to center himself in calm. He got to feel the weight of his energy before sending it out into the world. Gradually, his dreams started to align with his newfound stability. Deals came together more smoothly, relationships grew deeper, and opportunities showed up right on time instead of crashing down like overwhelming waves. The force was just as strong, but now flowed with a sense of peace. It now flowed through a clear path. What Eugene figured out is crucial. The force doesn't care if you think something is good or bad. It simply boosts whatever vibe you send out. As your power increases, so should your awareness of the signals you project into the universe. Before diving into any key thought or desire today, take a moment. Breathe deeply 3 times. Ask yourself, is this vibe worthy of commanding the force? Let that question guide you, act as your filter. In that short moment of awareness, you connect with the highest use of your power. In a cozy cottage surrounded by blooming gardens, Doris stood by her window every morning, quietly hoping for a sign. For 3 years, since her dear Thomas had passed, she waited for news about the family heirloom, a golden locket with their wedding picture inside. The force doesn't run on the minutes and hours of your calendar, but dives deep into your spiritual certainty. Time is just something we created, while manifestation works in the timeless present. When your desire, emotions, and faith come together, you create a pure resonance. The universe has to respond quickly. Think of it like tuning a radio to find the perfect station. There's no waiting between finding that right frequency and hearing the music. It just happens. That morning, something changed in Doris. Instead of longing for the mailbox, she closed her eyes and imagined the cool locket in her hands. She felt the joy of opening it, seeing their younger faces smiling back at her. She sensed its weight against her heart. But most importantly, she felt complete peace. No urgency, no need, just pure gratitude for this treasure she knew was already hers. The next day, a letter arrived. It came from a little antique shop 3 states away. The owner had bought an estate collection and discovered a golden locket with a familiar name engraved on it. Inside, it held the photo of a young couple, Doris and Thomas, on their wedding day. What changed? Not where the locket was or how much time had passed. The shift was in Doris's inner state. When she stopped reaching and started to know, something changed. By blending clear vision with deep emotion and spiritual certainty, she created a vibe that bent time and space. This is the core of manifestation. Picture it clearly, feel it fully, and know it deeply. When these elements align, the universe reacts, not based on the calendar, but on the strength of your spiritual signal. Take a moment to focus on one desire that's important to you. Close your eyes and imagine every detail of having it in your life. Feel the textures, listen to the sounds, see the colors, taste the joy. Let this experience fill you up for 90 seconds. But here's the key. Feel it without clinging to it. Experience it like it's already yours, with genuine gratitude. Then, like releasing a dove into the sky, let it go completely into the universe's care. In a quiet little town, as dawn broke, Frank arranged his produce with the same love he had for the past 2 decades. But this morning felt different. He found his thoughts drifting to unpaid bills. To his dismay, 3 regulars passed by without stopping. By midday, the veggies started to wilt, much like his mood. What he didn't realize was that he held a great power. Every thought, every feeling he nurtured was like planting seeds in the universe's garden. This isn't just a metaphor, it's spiritual science. The force that shapes the world reacts to your inner thoughts with pinpoint accuracy. Many people walk through life unaware they are gardeners of the unseen, letting their thoughts scatter like seeds in the wind, taking root in patterns they don't even know about. But you're different. You can plant with intention, just like a master gardener tends to their flowers. Once you grasp this, you see that every moment matters. Each thought is a seed, each feeling waters it, and each belief provides the soil for your future. The universe doesn't care if a thought is casual or intentional. It responds to all of them with equal force. Frank learned this lesson one morning before he opened up. He took a moment to appreciate the fresh produce, glistening with morning dew. He felt real gratitude for his shop, for the farmers who supplied him, and for every customer who would walk through the door. Unknowingly, he had planted seeds of abundance that day. Something began to shift. Customers seemed to be drawn in by a warm vibe as they stepped into his store. Regular shoppers began chatting about how it had become their go-to spot. Even the vendors saved the best goods for him. The produce stayed fresh longer, and his shelves were always stocked without any hassle. Nothing had changed in the store itself, just the way the owner was thinking. He realized that the present moment isn't just a place in time. It's like sacred ground where our future starts to grow. Every thought, every feeling, even those moments when we're not really paying attention, they're all seeds we're planting for tomorrow. Take a moment today, 3 times, morning, afternoon, and evening, just to check in with yourself and ask, what am I planting right now? Be like a master gardener, looking closely at your thoughts and feelings. What are you sowing? Are they seeds of worry or wisdom, doubt or determination, fear or faith? Just noticing this can start to change your life. In a small cottage by the village, Agnes sat at her wooden table every morning saying affirmations about abundance and success. She was known as a talented midwife, but a shadow always lingered under her hopeful words. With every positive statement, a quiet worry would echo. What if I mess up? What if something goes wrong? Here's the key. Fear isn't just a lack of faith, it has its own power. When you say strong words but hold on to fear, you send mixed signals to the universe. It can't respond well when you're caught between wanting something and being afraid of it. Your fears can act like invisible guardians, trying to protect you, but they can also build walls that keep your blessings away. The law of attraction responds not just to what you say, but to the energy you project. If fear lingers beneath your wishes, it can push away the very things you want. One restless night, Agnes learned this lesson. Instead of battling her fears, she lit a candle and talked to them openly. I see you, she whispered, acknowledging her worries, but I don't need that shield anymore. As she embraced each fear with understanding, something in the air around her shifted. The next morning, she felt a change. She was called to help with a tough birth, but instead of letting her usual anxiety get the best of her, she remembered what she had practiced the night before. She welcomed her fear, acknowledged it, and chose to trust. To her surprise, the delivery went smoothly, and soon everyone in the village heard about her calming presence. She hadn't gotten rid of her fear. She had changed it by meeting it with light instead of pushing it away. By doing this, she opened the way for abundance to flow into her life. Her affirmations, once clouded by fear, now rang with trust. You can't create from fear, just like you can't warm up with ice. The universe listens to your deepest energy, not just your surface wishes. When you choose to bless your fears instead of fighting them, you turn that energy into something powerful for change. Take a moment to jot down a fear that's been nagging at your dreams. Hold that piece of paper close and say these words aloud. Thank you for showing me where I need to heal. Feel the shift as you change resistance into acknowledgement. Then, take a deep breath and let that fear go, knowing it helped you reach this moment of awareness. In the quiet before dawn, Harold sat on his porch, watching the mist rise from the valley. For 20 years, he fought to rebuild his life after returning from war. Each day brought new struggles, paperwork, memories, hopes that felt more distant. But today was different. As the sun began to rise, Harold stopped trying so hard. There's a special moment between searching and finding, a pause where miracles begin. Many rush by this moment, too caught up in their efforts to see its strength. Yet it's in the stillness that the universe works its magic. When you stop the endless doing and let go of that constant urge to reach, you tap into a world of pure potential. This isn't about giving up. It's about allowing space for the universe to bring you what you've been longing for. Picture a lake too stirred up with thrown stones to reflect the sky clearly. But when the water is calm, it perfectly merges heaven and earth. Your mind works like a mirror. In moments of stillness, it reflects what you want. Harold learned this truth the hard way. After years of hustling, knocking on doors, and making calls, he finally decided to take a break. That morning, he just sat back, stopped struggling, and accepted things as they were. He opened himself up to whatever might come next. Later that afternoon, there was a knock on his door. A fellow veteran had heard about his situation and offered him the exact opportunity he had been waiting for. The door opened not from pushing, but from letting go. This might sound a bit unsettling at first. We've been taught that success comes from relentless action. We're told to chase achievement like it's a prize to be captured. But in reality, it's often the opposite. What you truly seek is already looking for you. Your job isn't to hunt it down, it's to be quiet enough to be found. This kind of stillness isn't just sitting around, it's alive with possibility. Think of it as that perfect moment between breathing in and breathing out, the calm before creativity bursts forth. When you enter this peaceful space, you align with the natural flow of bringing things into being. Let go of the need to force things to happen. Release that urgency that keeps you always on the go. The universe has its own timing, and it often works in ways you can't see yet. Your job is simply to make room for miracles to land. Here's a quick practice. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Find a quiet spot where you can be alone. Sit in silence. No affirmations, no visualizations, no demands. Just be there, fully trusting the moment. Let your breath slow down. Feel the strength that comes from being open. This isn't just meditation, it's a dynamic stillness, the space where miracles begin. Now, let's dive into a story about desire. In a small village nestled among ancient hills, Edith crafted candles by hand. Each one was a blend of patience and skill. While her work lit up others' lives, she held a secret, an intense longing for something more. Night after night, as she dipped wicks in warm wax, her heart desired a bigger dream, a workshop to create on a larger scale. But she kept pushing those thoughts aside, believing such dreams were too ambitious. Then one night, as she drifted into a deep sleep, a vision came to her. She found herself in a magnificent garden where every flower shimmered like a dancing flame. A voice, clear as a morning bell, revealed a truth. Your desires aren't just yours, they're messages from something greater. You need to recognize this. Desire isn't merely a human thought. It's a divine hint placed in you by the universe. When you feel drawn to something bigger, that's not selfishness. It's guidance from your higher self. Just like a flower knows how to reach for the sun, or a bird instinctively flies south when winter comes, your desires come from a wisdom that goes beyond conscious thought. They're like a compass for your spirit, directing you toward the infinite possibilities that already exist. Many people dim their own desires, thinking they're too big, too self-centered, or simply out of reach. But stifling these sacred impulses is what really blocks the good things from coming to you. The universe communicates through your truest longings, revealing what's already there for you to tap into. Edith started to see her desires as sacred messages. She stopped feeling guilty about wanting more. She embraced her dreams, treating them not as secrets but as divine appointments. Without forcing anything, opportunities started to flow in. A merchant offered her a spot in the market. A wealthy patron commissioned special items. Her tiny candle shop grew organically, as if an unseen hand was guiding it. The truth hit her. Her wish for growth wasn't random. It was a glimpse of what was already waiting in the vast field of possibilities. That longing itself was proof that what she desired was attainable. If you're experiencing a strong desire, remember this. It's not there to tease you. It exists because it is already fulfilled in a spiritual sense. Your job isn't to judge that desire, but to treat it as sacred communication from the universe. Take a moment to jot down your 3 biggest desires. Don't hold back. Don't second-guess yourself. Let them flow from your heart onto the page. Then, place your hand over what you've written and speak out loud. This is sacred. I trust it will come to me. Feel the power of recognizing your desires as divine guidance rather than just simple wants. This small act aligns you with the spiritual laws of bringing your dreams to life. She'd tell him, "The flame speaks to something ancient, her eyes shining with wisdom passed down through the ages. You know, it's in the simplest actions where hidden power lies. When you focus your intention, Those ordinary moments become connections to unseen realms. That's the ancient truth about ritual. It's not just doing the same thing over and over again. It's a focused way to let the universe flow through you. The real strength of ritual isn't in how complicated it is, but in being truly present. When you perform a task with spiritual awareness, you make a vibration that travels through the quantum field. Every deliberate movement sends a message to the universe. Each mindful breath is a statement of your alignment. Think of ritual as spiritual technology, a method for keeping your energy tuned in. Just like a radio needs to be correctly set to get clear sound, your energy field needs regular tuning to keep manifesting what you desire. Stanley's nightly routine was straightforward. He'd light a candle, close his eyes, and fill his heart with gratitude. No long prayers, no tricky ceremonies, just pure presence with the flame and whatever feelings came up. One night, while he was in his usual space, a thought popped into his head about a job at the mine, one he'd never thought of before. The next day, he was offered that very role without even looking for it. This pattern continued. Each night of reflection seemed to plant the seeds for blessings the next day. The flame turned into more than just light. It became a focal point for his thoughts, a sacred place where his intent met universal law. Through this simple act, handed down over generations, Stanley had tapped into an ancient principle. When your awareness meets consistent ritual, the universe responds, and it does so accurately. It's important to know that ritual isn't about being perfect or overly complicated. It's about setting up a reliable way for your intentions to flow clearly into the vast possibilities around you. When you create sacred habits, you build a bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. So find a quiet spot where you can be alone. Light a candle with intention. Don't rush. Don't doubt. Let the flame focus your mind. Say one clear sentence about what you're inviting into your life, feeling those words rise from deep inside you, carried out with your breath into the space around. Then, with total trust, blow out the candle, releasing your intention into the world. In this world, it's not about wishing. It's about following a deep, ancient truth. Loretta found herself in a quiet, old library, surrounded by books filled with wisdom and soft whispers. For years, she organized stories about love while secretly longing for it. Every night, she locked up the library, her footsteps ringing out in the empty space, her hopes for companionship lost among the tales around her. Then one day, everything changed. Instead of waiting for love to arrive, she started to act as if love was already all around her. Her steps felt lighter, her smile more confident. She placed flowers on her desk not to lure love in, but to celebrate it. Each morning she dressed as if someone cherished her deeply. Here's a key truth. The universe responds to who you are being, not just what you want. When you embody the feeling of already having, you send out a vibe that can't be ignored. It's not just pretending, it's a principle of the universe. Think of your dreams as a radio station that's already playing. Your job isn't to create the music, it's to tune into the right frequency. This tuning happens through how you live your life, acting like the version of you who has what you want. Many people spend years wanting, wondering why their dreams seem so far away. But wanting and having vibrate differently. You can't send out a signal of lack and expect to draw in abundance. You can't feel lonely and expect to find a partner. The universe reflects back who you truly are, not just who you wish to be. In the weeks after her change, Loretta experienced little shifts. Conversations flowed easier. Unexpected invites started coming her way. Then one afternoon, while sorting through poetry, she met someone who connected with her soul. Not because she wished harder, but because she had aligned herself with the feeling of being loved. This story tells a timeless truth. To manifest your desires, you need to embody them first. When you change how you show up in life, reality is bound to change right along with you. It's not magic, it's a law. Try this. Dedicate a whole day to living as if your desires are already yours. If you're looking for love, move through your day as someone who is deeply loved. If you seek abundance, carry yourself with a sense of quiet confidence and joy. Embrace the confidence that comes with a prosperous mindset. Let this new way of being seep into everything you do, how you dress, how you talk, how you carry yourself. This isn't about acting. It's about aligning your energy with what's already out there. waiting for you to claim it. In a cozy workshop with clocks ticking all around him, Raymond hunched over his workbench, surrounded by the intricate mechanics of timepieces. Every morning, he sent out job applications. His credentials were spot on and his experience was solid. But still, doors didn't open. The sting of rejection grew heavier each day. The insights you're about to hear hold a timeless truth. Your emotional vibe paves the way for change in your life. As you take in these ideas, remember that the universe reacts to your inner mood, not just your actions. Raymond's big shift started on a regular Tuesday, surrounded by the soothing tick-tock of his clocks. He made a small yet powerful choice. Instead of tying his worth to how others responded to his applications, he chose to feel good simply because he could. He began humming as he worked, basked in the sunlight pouring through his workshop window, and found joy in the intricate dance of gears and springs around him. Your feelings aren't just responses to life. They are signals sent out to the universe. Every emotion creates ripples in the quantum field, attracting experiences that resonate with its frequency. When you're desperate, no polished resume can change the vibe you're sending out. But when you shine with joy, doors start to swing open effortlessly. Within days, Raymond observed small changes. A customer mentioned him to a friend. An old colleague unexpectedly got in touch. A random encounter led to an opportunity he hadn't even dreamed of. His life began to shift, not because his abilities had changed, but because the signal he was sending out had transformed. This highlights a key principle. The universe communicates through frequency. Your mood isn't just a passive feeling. It's an ongoing message sent into a realm of endless possibilities. When you change your inner vibe, you change the instructions you give to the universe. Think of yourself as a living broadcaster. Every emotion is like a radio signal bringing in experiences that match your vibe. Joy attracts joy, ease finds ease, love brings in more love. Attracting love isn't just some theory, it's a spiritual science. Take a moment today, 3 times to be exact. In the morning, afternoon, and evening, pause and ask yourself, what's my signal right now? Tune in to the vibe you're sending out. If you catch yourself worrying, shift your focus to joy. If anxiety creeps in, choose to relax. If you feel a scarcity, embrace abundance. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about consciously creating your life through the energy you put out. In a little village marked by the shadows of war, Irene lived alone in a cozy cottage, surrounded by blooming roses. Each morning, she would kneel by her bed, hands together, whispering soft prayers for news of her husband who was missing. Her faith was steady but gentle, like the morning mist. But what you're about to learn goes beyond simple beliefs. It's the difference between the flicker of a candle and the roar of a forge, between a quiet whisper and a strong declaration. True faith doesn't wait for permission from the universe. It boldly states what it knows to be true. When faith ignites, it evolves from accepting things as they are to becoming an unstoppable force. It's not just about how loud you shout or how often you pray. It's about how deeply you understand your truth and how strong your spiritual conviction is. The universe responds to the fire behind your words, not just the words themselves. Irene's big change happened one morning when she felt something inside her shift. Standing in her garden, among the roses her husband had planted, she felt a powerful knowing. No more soft prayers. Her faith burst into flames. "He's alive," she proclaimed to the shining sun, her words heavy with certainty. This wasn't just a wish. It was a clear acknowledgement of a truth already there in reality. Within a week, a letter arrived, followed by a telegram, and then she heard footsteps on the path. Her husband returned, alive, guided home by an inexplicable certainty that she was waiting for him. Here's the thing. Just believing is like keeping miracles at a distance. It's the fierce faith that shatters doubt and ignites everything around you that reshapes reality. Faith was never meant to be soft or gentle. It's meant to be as powerful as lightning and as inevitable as dawn. When you shift your faith from a quiet hope to a blazing fire, you change the entire landscape of what's possible. The universe can't help but respond. To really connect with a deep sense of spiritual certainty, it's not about trying to persuade the divine. It's all about aligning yourself with what you truly know until reality has no choice but to shift. Stand with your arms wide open towards the sky. Feel the energy of absolute knowing bubbling up inside you. Then, declare out loud, I know it's done. I claim it with fire. Let your voice resonate with solid certainty. This isn't just an affirmation. It's a statement of what's already real in the unseen world. Now, let's talk about money, time, and miracles. They all follow the same rules. Picture Douglas in his leather chair every morning, counting his pension and investments. Despite all his careful planning, he felt time and money slipping away like sand through his fingers. His ledger became a constant reminder of what he didn't have, each entry highlighting his sense of lack. But here's the key. Money and time aren't just forces that control your life. They're energies that respond to your inner thoughts. When you change your perspective, shifting from scarcity to seeing abundance in everything, it all transforms. If you approach money with anger or fear, it will react in kind. If you see time as an enemy, it becomes one. These ideas aren't just tricks of the mind, they're real spiritual laws, just like gravity. Douglas learned this truth one autumn morning. Instead of his usual routine of counting what he was missing, he started something new. He began to bless his bank statements and express gratitude for the flow of time itself. By acknowledging the abundance already in his life, everything changed. Suddenly, business opportunities came easily. His investments paid off more than he expected, and surprisingly, his days felt longer. Tasks that used to take forever now flowed smoothly. The spiritual law around abundance doesn't differentiate between what you're seeking. Whether it's time, money, love, or energy, the principle stays the same. Your relationship with one aspect affects all others. Douglas ended up having more time and wealth than ever, not through complicated plans or exhausting work, but simply by adjusting his energetic connection with abundance itself. Remember this truth. Lack is just a story you tell yourself. When you change that story, everything can shift. When you speak the language of abundance, the universe has no choice but to recognize your new story. This isn't just a figure of speech, it's a spiritual truth. Abundance doesn't respond to what you do, but to the energy you put out. When you appreciate what you have, you set off a vibration that pulls in even more. Thanking time makes it feel more abundant. Honoring money helps it grow. This is the secret behind attracting abundance. So here's a simple challenge for the next day. Swap every complaint about money or time with a blessing. If you find yourself thinking, I don't have enough time, switch to time flows abundantly for me. When money worries creep in, say, money comes easily and frequently. Observe how your world shifts to match this new energy. One morning, Pearl sat at her piano, repeating affirmations while playing familiar tunes. She said things like, I am successful, and I attract great students. But these words felt mechanical, almost empty. It's crucial to know that the universe doesn't just follow repeated phrases. It listens to the emotion behind them. When you only go through the motions, your words lack power. True magic happens when your whole being resonates with the truth you're expressing. Pearl had done all the right things for months. She wrote affirmations, pictured her success, and voiced her desires. Yet, something felt off. She was missing the key element that turns words into commands: genuine emotion. One evening, after her last student left, she sank at her piano, tears streaming onto the keys. In that moment of vulnerability, she let go of trying to be perfect and said, I don't need to prove anything. I am enough. For the first time, her words felt powerful and real. The law of attraction thrives on emotional truth. When you let go of the performance and allow yourself to feel deeply, you send out a frequency so strong the universe can't ignore it. It's not about how much you practice, it's about how fully you connect to the moment. The next morning, Pearl got a call from Maria, a former student she hadn't spoken to in ages. Maria had become a successful composer and wanted to collaborate on her new symphony. She remembered Pearl's special talent for breathing life into music. This quick response wasn't just a coincidence. It was a result of Pearl's newfound authenticity. When Pearl let go of her efforts to be perfect and embraced her true feelings, something changed. She sent out a new vibe, and the universe picked up on it. Not her words, but her real truth. Manifesting what you want happens faster when you stop acting spiritual and start really living it. Your real emotions pack more power than 1,000 perfectly recited affirmations. The universe knows what's real, and realness comes from how you feel. So find a quiet spot where you can be alone with your thoughts. Pick a desire you've been affirming, maybe one you hold close but hasn't come to life yet. Strip away all the show, all the performance, and the need to sound enlightened. Let go of the perfect words and sit with that desire until the raw truth comes to the surface, beneath all that practiced spirituality. When you feel that moment of clarity, where you just know in your heart, I'm ready, stay there. Immerse yourself in that sacred feeling of pure knowing. Let that authentic emotion, without doubt or forced positivity, be your message to the universe. This is the energy that moves mountains, changes circumstances, and connects you with the universe's infinite power. In a little cottage by the sea, Velma polished her silver teapot for the third time that morning. Her tired hands worked on autopilot as her eyes wandered to the silent phone. 6 months had passed without word from her son Thomas, who had gone off seeking his fortune. Each day felt the same: desperate prayers, checking the mail, and willing the phone to ring. The more she reached out for news, the deeper the silence seemed to grow. Here's something important. When you cling to what you want, you create a barrier between yourself and that desire. Grasping tightly actually pushes it away. This isn't just talk, it's a law of the universe. Life is about balancing giving and receiving, holding on and letting go. When you cling to something, you create resistance in the very fabric of reality. Attachment turns into a subtle fear, and fear always drives away what you want. Real detachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about letting go with love. It's trusting deeply enough that you don't feel the need to control when or how your blessings show up. This mindset opens up roads that anxiety and attachment close off. One evening, as Velma lit her candle, she felt something change inside her. She gazed at Thomas's photo, smiled, and softly said, "I love you enough to let you go. Your journey is yours alone." For the first time in months, her words felt light, free from worry or need. That night, while getting ready for bed, the phone rang. It shattered the silence. Thomas's warm voice filled her ear with exciting news that had been trying to reach her for some time. Here's the thing. The universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you allow. When Velma let her son go with love, she opened herself up instead of pushing against it. This is the twist in the spiritual game. What you let go of and trust often comes back quicker than what you cling to tightly. Try this yourself. Find a quiet moment. Imagine your biggest dream resting in your hands. Feel its weight. Now, with a gentle breath, say these words: I release you. I trust your return. Slowly open your hands and let that dream float away. This isn't about giving up. It's about trusting in the timing of life. What's truly meant for you will always come back. 5 years after Martha left, Bernard found himself sitting alone at his kitchen table. Each morning, that empty chair across from him felt heavier and heavier with every passing season. He filled his days with routine, tending to his garden, reading the paper, and watching birds at the feeder. But something was missing. Here's a crucial truth. The universe pays attention to who you are, not what you want. When you seek from a place of emptiness, you're sending out a signal that actually pushes away what you want. Bernard spent his evenings lost in memories, staring at photos and feeling the weight of his loneliness. Each thought of being alone only made his isolation worse. But one morning, Bernard decided to change things up. Instead of rushing through breakfast, he took his time. He set the table with care, using a nice tablecloth and his best china, and placed fresh flowers in a crystal vase. He cooked his favorite meal and poured himself a glass of juice. He made himself a cup of perfectly brewed tea and sat down to enjoy his own company. For the first time in years, he felt a shift. The empty chair across from him wasn't a reminder of loneliness. It was simply waiting. He started talking to himself, laughing at his own jokes, tasting the joy of being present with himself. That evening, instead of staying in, Bernard decided to keep celebrating his own company. He dressed up in his best suit, drove to a cozy Italian restaurant on Main Street, and asked for a table for one, not with shame, but with pride. He ordered what he liked, savored every bite, and noticed something new within himself: a feeling of completeness. There's a truth at play here. When you fill yourself with your own presence, you become magnetic to others who resonate with that. You shift from feeling hungry for love to radiating wholeness. As Bernard finished his tiramisu, he spotted a familiar face, Sarah, who taught piano at the local school. She too was alone, holding herself with that same of self-sufficiency. Their eyes met and they shared a smile, easy and relaxed, as if they had nothing to prove. The universe doesn't respond to desperation, it reacts to resonance. When Bernard learned to embrace his solitude, he naturally attracted someone who matched that energy. So why not practice today? Give yourself the love you're seeking from others. Cook your favorite meal with care. Dress like you're meeting someone special, because you are. Speak kindly to yourself. Feel the fullness of your own presence. This isn't about settling. It's aligning with the truth that all love starts from within. In a sunlit workshop filled with the soft rustle of fabric and the gentle buzz of a sewing machine, Genevieve stood before the creations of her life. For 15 years, she had crafted beautiful dresses for others, while her own dreams sat gathering dust in a leather-bound sketchbook, tucked away beneath her work. Every morning, she'd show up early, touch that sketchbook, and whisper, "Maybe tomorrow." You have that same power, Genevieve discovered, the ability to collapse time with one firm decision. When you find yourself stuck between possibilities, the universe reflects that uncertainty back at you. But watch what happens when certainty sparks within you. The moment you shift from thinking to deciding, you activate forces beyond comprehension. Time itself responds to the energy of absolute knowledge. It can feel like it takes ages to make a decision, but sometimes that moment of certainty can happen in an instant. In a cozy workshop, Genevieve was surrounded by the dreams she had crafted for others. She reached for her sketchbook, but not with that familiar desire. Instead, her hands shook with confidence. "No more maybes," she murmured. Suddenly, 15 years of hesitation melted away. On a calm autumn evening, a young seamstress named Marie walked into a charming little boutique in the city. She'd heard buzz about a new designer who was shaking things up in fashion. As she stepped inside, her eyes landed on stunning pieces that seemed to come alive, designs that used to be tucked away in a sketchbook. The boutique, Genevieve's, glimmered with golden letters on the window. What felt impossible just weeks ago was now real, woven into fabric. Genevieve had assumed it would take years to prepare, but once she made that firm decision, everything shifted quickly. The universe doesn't really keep track of time in days or years. It operates on conviction. When you make a choice with your whole heart, time adjusts to fit that decision. A journey that looked like it needed countless steps can be crossed in a single leap of faith. Practice this. Stand in front of a mirror and look yourself in the eye. Make one clear, unshakable decision about your life, no matter how minor. Speak it out loud with conviction. Feel the change as you shift from maybe to now. Let your next move come from this new certainty instead of careful planning. In a dim office filled with numbers and spreadsheets, Glenn sat staring at his detailed 5-year plan. Every step was carefully mapped out, every goal neatly broken into small, manageable tasks. For 3 years, he stuck to this plan flawlessly, yet he found himself exactly where he'd begun. You might see a bit of yourself in Glenn's story. Maybe you've made a perfect plan and laid out every logical step, only to find yourself stuck. The mind, with all its brilliant calculations, often overlooks a key part of making things happen, the power of genuine emotion. The universe responds to how we feel, not just what we think. It's not just about logic, it's about resonance. The universe doesn't respond to a foolproof plan. Instead, it responds to the right vibe. When you sync your feelings with what you truly want, you send out a signal that's more powerful than any strategy. Think about how water moves, not in straight lines, but in ways that take the easiest path. Your dreams work the same way. They flow through your deepest emotions, not the routes your mind has laid out. One evening, Glenn sat at his desk and something changed. Instead of going over his plans, he shut his eyes and focused on what he genuinely desired. He let go of the how-to steps and just embraced the feeling of already having reached his goal. In that moment, he buzzed with a fresh energy. Just days later, unexpected opportunities cropped up, ones he never could have planned for. A casual conversation led to a new connection. An old colleague got in touch with a perfect proposal for his dreams. Doors he had worked so hard to pry open swung wide thanks to this new emotional certainty. The universe isn't reading your plans, it's tuning into your vibe. When you truly feel what you want, you send out a signal that cuts through all logical barriers. That's why someone with a solid strategy might feel stuck, while someone in emotional alignment seems to attract good fortune. Logic shows you the way, but your feelings are what drive you forward. Your emotions are more than reactions. They're instructions to the universe. They shape your reality. To practice this, find a quiet spot and shut the world out. Close your eyes and forget your plans. Allow yourself to really feel the essence of what you desire as if you already have it. Don't focus on how it'll happen. Just immerse yourself in the certainty of it being done. Let that feeling fill you up for a few minutes. Pay attention to how your body reacts to this new energy. Nan stood in her small flower shop on a quiet street, arranging roses with shaky hands, worried about next month's rent. Her shop had a few loyal customers, but it barely made ends meet. Yet that morning, something awakened inside her, a knowing that went beyond her current situation. Without altering any flowers or fixtures, she began to navigate her shop in a whole new way. She straightened up, lifted her chin, and treated each stem like it was precious cargo fit for royalty. She polished the windows until they sparkled and arranged her simple bouquets with the care one would give rare art pieces. Reality doesn't shift just because things around you change. It changes when you shift within. The universe reacts to how you carry yourself, not just your surroundings. When you embody the essence of the reality you want, when you speak and move like it's already yours, you send a powerful signal to the unseen forces shaping your world. This isn't acting. It's a deep truth in energy. Think about how a queen moves through a room. She doesn't become royal because others see her that way. Her royalty comes from within and naturally commands that recognition. This principle is key to manifesting what you want. You have to see it before you can hold it in your hands. As Nan started treating every sale like a luxury experience, something magical happened. Her regulars began ordering bigger arrangements, and new customers, drawn by a mysterious change in energy, started coming in. She hadn't altered her stock or location. She simply elevated the frequency her business radiated. One afternoon, a well-dressed woman walked into the shop, paused, and took it all in. "There's something different about this place," she said, before placing a huge order for her estate that alone was more than Nan usually made in a month. She learned a basic truth. Circumstances don't dictate energy. Energy dictates circumstances. By living as though she already bridged the gap between her current reality and the one she desired, she transformed her world. Take an hour today to practice this. Act as if your desires are already part of your life. Talk, walk, and make choices from that feeling of completion and fulfillment. Move through your space like you've already become who you want to be, not in a fake way, but recognizing the power you have to shape your reality. Let every movement flow with quiet confidence. Let your words carry certainty, and let every choice reflect this deeper truth. As you go through your day, maintain an awareness of your desired state, allowing it to fill each moment with purpose and possibility. This is where real change begins. Each morning, Sylvester stood at the train station, absorbing the complaints and worries of countless passengers. Their heavy words and burdens settled on him like morning fog, dimming his natural light. He smiled and nodded, but their energy seeped into his own, weighing him down. Inside, he held a special frequency, a unique vibe that shapes his reality. But how often do we let outside energies disrupt that? Your energy field isn't meant to be a free pass for every stray thought or emotion. The universe reacts to your main frequency. When you let other people's doubts and fears invade your space, you send out mixed signals, resulting in mixed outcomes. Your strength lies in choosing what resonates within you, not in absorbing everything around you. One day, Sylvester stumbled upon a valuable lesson. He could help others without taking on their energy. Each morning, he began to visualize a golden shield surrounding him. When passengers came with their usual complaints, he listened kindly but kept his boundaries intact. Their words didn't trouble him anymore. They flowed past like clouds drifting in the sky. Within weeks, the atmosphere on his platform shifted. Passengers felt calmer and even more positive. Some even commented on the peaceful vibe he created. Nothing had changed outside him. He just learned to guard his energetic gates. Your energy field is your starting point for creation. Every thought, every feeling, every interaction influences your ability to manifest. To create clearly and quickly, treat those inputs as sacred. Not every energy deserves a place in your creative space. Some need to be acknowledged and let go, helping you keep the pure frequency of your intentions. This isn't about shutting people out, it's about being spiritually aware. Once Sylvester learned to protect his energy, life began to shift. Opportunities flowed in easily, relationships blossomed, and his joy remained untouched by chaos. He realized that safeguarding his frequency wasn't selfish, it was crucial for giving his best self. Take some time today to be mindful of your own energy. Different energies come into your life. Pay attention to what lifts you up and what drags you down. Identify one source that consistently saps your creative energy. It could be a draining relationship, a bad habit, or a space that doesn't support your best self. With gentle awareness and kindness, close off that energy drain. Share a moment of gratitude for the lessons it brought you, then declare your space as a sacred area. Feel the immediate change as your ability to attract positive things becomes clearer and more aligned with what's possible. In a small church basement, Bernice taught kids to sing. Each week, she echoed what her mother used to say: "We must work twice as hard because nothing comes easy to our family." They learned lovely songs, but they also picked up her subconscious belief in struggle. Inside you, you hold agreements you never chose. These are like silent contracts formed in your early years, whispers from your ancestors, and unspoken rules from those before you. They act like invisible chains, holding back your creative spirit with old stories of limitation. Listen closely to the things you say without thinking. Notice the patterns you just go along with. They're not random habits. They're spiritual agreements that you've either inherited or made yourself, shaping the energy you send out to the universe. You have the power to change these agreements. As soon as you spot a limiting belief, you can start to break it down. Your awareness is the tool that allows you to cross out old promises and write new ones. One day, while teaching a challenging piece, Bernice caught herself repeating those old words of struggle but paused mid-sentence. In that moment, she realized how much that belief had influenced her life, her health, her finances, her relationships. With tears in her eyes, she turned to her students and said different words. Music flows easily through us because we are naturally gifted. That small change, that conscious decision to let go of the old belief, sent waves through her reality. Within weeks, her choir sang effortlessly, her constant headaches disappeared, and an unexpected inheritance came to her. The universe responded not to her years of hard work, but to this new energetic agreement. Thoughts are like promises we make to the universe, and it responds with unwavering commitment. When you say life is hard, the universe replies, absolutely. If you think, I need to struggle to achieve anything, it sets up situations just for that belief. But just like Bernice learned, you can break these patterns with your conscious choices. You aren't stuck in the limitations of your past. You have the freedom to create new agreements that resonate with abundance, ease, and grace. Take a moment to write down one belief you've inherited, a limitation passed down from your family or picked up from society. Cross it out decisively, cutting it off from your energy. Below that, write your new sacred agreement with the universe, one that reflects your highest ambitions for yourself. Read this new promise aloud every day, letting your voice send out those vibrations to the universe. As you do this, feel the old belief melting away while your new declaration takes root in a world of endless possibilities. You are the solution you've been searching for. In a quiet church on the edge of town, Gerald prayed each evening for help. His congregation was shrinking, the roof was leaking, and bills were piling up. Every night he whispered, "Lord, send us help." But each morning brought the same challenges. This went on for months until one stormy night changed his life. You hold a truth that's so simple it's easy to overlook. You aren't separate from what you seek. The universe doesn't just work through distant miracles, it works through you. When you wait for someone else to save you, you ignore the power that already flows within you. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a spiritual truth. The force you're searching for isn't lying dormant, waiting for someone else to activate it. It's alive, awake, and comes through your thoughts, your actions, your voice, and your very presence. You aren't just waiting for power, you are power in action. Many people spend years looking outside for what they already have inside. They pray for abundance while ignoring their own creative ability. They look for healing, yet forget their own power to heal. They ask for guidance, dismissing their inner wisdom. One evening, as Gerald knelt in his usual spot, thunder rumbled overhead. Water started leaking through the old roof, creating a small pool on the floor. He looked in the mirror and saw something important he'd overlooked. It was the answer he had been searching for, right there in front of him. Standing up, he walked over to the church bulletin board and started writing, "Roof Repair Workshop this Saturday." The next morning, as the congregation showed up, they found Gerald already on the roof, tools in hand. One by one, they joined him. What started as a simple task evolved into a monthly community event. The church buzzed with life, not because of a miracle, but because Gerald chose to be the spark for change. The universe doesn't just wait around for things to happen. It responds when we take action. When you understand that you're the one through whom great things can happen, waiting turns into doing. Prayer shifts from just asking to being fully present. The power you're trying to find isn't somewhere far away. It flows through you, comes out in your words, and shines in your actions. You're not waiting for someone to save you. You're the one who can bring about that change. Try this. Stand in front of a mirror and declare, "The answer I seek is me." Say it until it sinks in. In a small seaside kitchen, Rosie poured her heart into cooking. Every morning she would wake up early, light a candle, and whisper her dreams to the dawn. For a brief moment, she felt an exciting rush of possibilities. But by midday, with orders piling up, that magical feeling faded away like morning fog. Here's something crucial to grasp. Manifestation isn't just a quick burst. It's about keeping a steady vibe. The universe listens not to random peaks of alignment, but to your consistent energy. Many people reach moments of creative power, only to lose it in the grind of everyday life. That's why big dreams often fall flat. They're not supported by a steady frequency. Your ability to manifest depends on how stable your vibe is. Think of it like tuning a radio. A strong signal gives you clear sound, while a shaky one brings noise. It's not about forcing constant happiness, but about finding little reminders throughout your day that bring you back to the vibe you want. These reminders, whether sounds, smells, items, or habits, help you reconnect with your true power when life tries to throw you off course. One day, Rosie noticed how the smell of vanilla always lifted her mood. Every morning, she'd put drops of vanilla essence on her wrists. She kept tiny bottles in her apron pocket, her car, and next to her bed. Whenever the stress of the day got heavy, just one whiff of that sweet scent could bring her back to that hopeful morning feeling. Soon she realized she could keep her creative spirit alive even in chaos. Orders piled up, but she stayed grounded. Staff called in sick, yet she remained strong. Vanilla became more than just a scent. It was a connection to her creative energy. Within weeks, opportunities started coming her way, not just here and there, but steadily. A food critic found her kitchen. A local magazine told her story. An investor wanted to help her expand. The universe was responding, not to fleeting moments of joy, but to her new sense of stability. Creating isn't just about reaching high vibes. It's about keeping them steady. Make your environment work for you. Fill it with reminders of the vibe you want. These aren't just trinkets. They're tools to help you stay aligned with your dreams. Pick one song, scent, or object to ground you in that feeling you desire. Let it be your special touchstone, a link between the everyday and the extraordinary. Return to it often, letting it guide you back to your chosen frequency. This anchor acts as both a reminder and a catalyst, helping you keep the energy that draws your wishes closer. It could be the gentle sound of a bell, the soothing scent of lavender, or a crystal you keep close. Let this thoughtful choice be your guiding star. In a distant valley, Luther tended his fields each morning. His rough hands moved through age-old tasks passed down through the years. The harvest had been lean for 3 seasons, yet one morning as the sun broke through the mist, he felt a strange peace instead of worry. In that moment, he decided to trust, not with blind hope, but with steadfast certainty. You need to understand this. Trust isn't just waiting around. It's an active force, a spiritual strength that, when used, can move mountains. Many people confuse trust with doing nothing. True trust is a deep knowing. It's a feeling that turns waiting into something special. That space between deciding what you want and actually seeing it happen isn't empty. It's full of potential. Here, your trust acts like a bridge connecting two worlds. When you stay sure of yourself, even when things look bleak, you show you really understand how things work. If you doubt during this time, you'll slow down what you want. But if you hold on to your trust, you move things along faster. Your belief in the unknown actually becomes a light, pulling your desires closer. Take Luther, for instance. He kept working, but he felt a shift inside him. Instead of worrying about the weather, he found himself smiling at the clouds, confident that rain would come right when it was needed. While others looked at dry fields, he saw the promise of growth. His trust was clear, not blind, but rooted in knowing. One morning, he noticed little green shoots breaking through soil that had seemed dead just days before. As weeks went by, his crops flourished while others struggled. When people asked for his secret, he just smiled and pointed to his heart. His harvest that year was beyond what anyone expected, but for him, it felt right. He had already seen it in his mind because of his trust. So your trust isn't just wishing for a better future. It's recognizing that things are already taken care of in the spiritual world. When your trust runs this deep, you can bend time. The universe responds to what you know, not just what you ask for. Now think about one part of your life where you want to see a change. Write this down or say it out loud. I trust the unfolding. Let each word resonate within you as you breathe in deeply. Feel those words settle in your heart, your mind, even in your cells. Say them over and over, letting their power spread out into the universe. Then just watch. Notice how doors begin to open, how things fall into place, and how the right path comes into view. The universe listens to your steady trust and responds with incredible timing. Now, picture Opal standing in her sunlit studio at the town's edge. Each morning, her paintbrush is ready, like a magician's wand. Even though her work hasn't yet been displayed anywhere, she carries herself with the calm confidence of a well-known artist. It's not about being flashy or pretending. It's just the genuine grace of someone who understands their own value. She described her art not as something she desperately wanted to be noticed, but as work that already touched lives. She had crossed an invisible line. You need to get this essential idea. When you move from wanting to being, things start to happen faster. Your identity sends out the strongest signal. When you stop searching and start embodying, the universe reacts not to your requests, but to your energy. The space between where you are and where you want to be only exists in time, not in reality. By acting from a place of fulfillment, not as a trick, but as a genuine part of who you are, you create waves that ripple through reality itself. This isn't about pretending or forcing things. It's about letting yourself grow into the truth that's already there in the spiritual realm. Your physical world has to follow your energy. One afternoon, as Opal arranged her paintings with the care of a professional rather than the anxiety of an unknown artist, a stranger entered her studio. This visitor, drawn by something unexplainable, sensed something amazing. Without a second thought, they commissioned a series of pieces for their hotel chain, something that would have seemed impossible just a few months earlier. What changed? Not her talent. That had always been there. Not her technique. That stayed the same. What shifted was her energy, from hoping to knowing, from seeking to being. Later, when she reflected on her sudden success, Opal shared a simple truth. I stopped pushing my art onto the world and started living as if the world had already seen its worth. Everything else followed naturally. Your actions transmit a frequency. When they come from a place of alignment, rather than frantic effort, they draw things to you. The universe doesn't respond to what you do. It reacts to who you are while doing it. So here's a practice. Choose a small action today that your future self, the one who has already reached your goals, would naturally take. Perform that action fully aware and present, letting yourself embody that future version of you. Notice how this future self moves, speaks, and interacts with the world. In doing so, You compress time and bring tomorrow's reality into today. In a little town where aspirations rarely reached beyond its borders, Harvey roamed the quiet halls of his struggling school each morning, well before the sun came up. In his mind, he didn't see worn-out walls and old textbooks. He envisioned a lively place of learning where every child could shine. While others focused on budget cuts and falling enrollment numbers, Harvey held on to a vision so vivid it felt more real than the obstacles in front of him. You have to grasp this. The biggest dreams often start in solitude. Your inner voice might walk a lonely path for a while, understood by just you and the universe. That doesn't mean you're lost in fantasy. It's what spiritual trailblazers do. They hold on to frequencies that others can't yet see. When you find a vision that ignites your spirit, you've got to protect that spark. The world around you might not see what's burning bright in your heart. Their doubts aren't yours to shoulder. Your only job is to nurture that fire within you. In the world of spiritual truth, mockery often comes before breakthroughs. The ones who chuckle at your dreams today will someday wonder how you knew. But don't wait for their approval. Your belief isn't up for debate. It's a personal promise between you and the divine. As weeks turned into months, Harvey quietly transformed one classroom at a time. Even when others mocked his optimism, he kept adding college pennants on walls and talked about excellence as if it already filled every nook and cranny. He wrote grant proposals with unwavering faith and described his school to strangers like its makeover was already happening. Then one morning, a generous alumnus felt a strange pull to revisit their old school. They sensed something different in the air, a real energy of possibility. Before long, a large donation came through, and more followed. The vision Harvey had cultivated in solitude suddenly sparkled for all to see. What others had brushed off as a dream became the talk of the town. Those who had whispered, "Impossible," now asked how he had known all along. But Harvey understood. It wasn't knowledge of the mind, it was something held deep in his soul. Your vision might walk alone for a bit, and that's okay. Sacred things often start in silence. Your task isn't to convince anyone else, it's to stay strong in what you know until reality catches up. So practice this. Write your vision down and carry it with you for 7 days. Let that flame guide you. The sacred words you keep close to your heart serve as a reminder of the truth within you. Whenever self-doubt creeps in, or those negative voices get too loud, just place your hand on those words and say calmly, "I see it," and that's enough. Feel how that simple phrase helps ease your uncertainty. In those moments, you connect with the timeless wisdom that has inspired dreamers for ages. In a sunlit room, Lillian sat surrounded by years of leather journals. Her fingers brushed over the faded ink of past entries. Each page told stories of times when life shifted from what she used to call just luck. But as she read more, a pattern appeared. Every miracle, every open door, and every unexpected gift followed a change in her own energy. The truth isn't about chasing outside forces. It's about awakening to the power that's always been within you. The energy you've learned to wield isn't separate from who you are. Think of it like a wave in the ocean. You're not apart from the force that shapes worlds. Through these lessons, you've learned to align, to command, to bring things into being. But here's the real key. You aren't just controlling the force, you are the force, expressing itself in human form. Every breath you take is the universe breathing. Every step you take is part of an infinite journey. Every thought you have is creation flowing through you. When you finally get this, manifesting becomes as easy as breathing itself. You don't need to attract or align. It's all about recalling who you truly are. Lillian stood before her old piano, covered in dust from years of silence. This time she wasn't singing for an audience. She sang to bring truth to life. Her voice carried pure presence, not effort or desire, but the essence of someone who knows they are the source. The music that filled the room was not a performance. It was a celebration of existence. The universe doesn't just respond to you, it flows through you, perfectly in tune with your understanding. You are the space where all possibilities flourish. You are the energy that gives them life. And you're the one who has always had the key, just waiting for you to recognize your own hand turning it. This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. The Force isn't just a tool you use, it's part of who you are. Move forward not as someone wielding power, but as the power itself. Put your hands on your chest and feel your heartbeat. Say these words with certainty. The Force isn't outside of me, it is me. I am the answer. Let these words resonate within you, waking up the truth that's been lying dormant. Feel the ripples of this declaration shift your consciousness, connecting you to the boundless power that's always been yours. You've reached a turning point, but this isn't the end. It's a chance to dive deeper into understanding. The wisdom you carry now is intertwined with who you are. It's as natural as breathing, as steady as your heartbeat. You've rediscovered what your soul has always known. The Force flowing through everything also flows through you, not as something learned, but as part of your nature. Each moment has been a key, unlocking memories within you. Every practice has knit this ancient wisdom back into your mind. You might have noticed how quickly your reality seems to shift when you're aligned. Doors open without you even knocking. Solutions pop up before the problems even form. This isn't random, it's just the result of remembering who you are. Mastery isn't a fixed point to reach and stay at. It's a dance you embrace every day, a song you sing with every breath. The practices shared are tools for you to explore and embody. They'll deepen as you grow, revealing layers of power in your journey. Now, you move forward not as someone searching for truth, but as truth taking shape. Not as someone hoping to gain power, but as power itself coming alive. The Force you've awakened to isn't just visiting, it's your essence. Use it with respect, apply it wisely, and express it with love. Each moment is a chance to remember. Each breath a new start. Each step you take carries the weight of your knowledge. You aren't evolving into something different. You are finally embracing who you've always been. The Force is you. It always has been. Keep moving forward. Your journey isn't over yet. Click on this next audiobook. I guarantee it will change how you see things.